Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. On behalf of Forge College, I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today. So look, we are about to draft our master engineering blueprint for an EVM to SVM migration. Now, if you've been following along, you already know we've been gathering just a ton of raw data on our smart contracts. And well, today is the day we actually turn all that data into a concrete, executable plan. Let's get our hard hats on.
I know. You've got that primal developer urge, right? You just want to skip the documentation, fire up your code editor, and start hammering out Rust on Solana. But honestly, doing that right now, it's exactly like trying to build a suspension bridge without a schematic. Sure, you might get the towers up, but connecting them in the middle is just going to be a spectacular disaster. We really need a plan first.
So, let's look at exactly where we are right now. In our previous lesson, Performance Considerations and Readiness for Migration, we kind of played the role of forensic investigators. We found those really expensive on-chain loops, the frequent cross-contract calls, and all those gas-guzzling bottlenecks. Today, we're bridging those forensic clues into an actual, actionable project execution plan. Basically, taking the what's wrong and turning it into who is doing what and by when.
Here is the engineering schematic for today. We'll quickly run through triage, port, rewrite, defer. Then we'll cover milestones and timelines, chaos mitigation, tasks and metrics, and finally, the final deliverable.
Okay, kicking things off with part 1, triage, port, rewrite, defer.
So every single feature of your contract is going to fall into one of 3 buckets. Number 1 is port. These are the features we're just bringing over, mapping their EVM storage directly to Solana's program-derived addresses, or PDAs. Number 2 is rewrite. Remember those expensive loops we found earlier? Yeah, we rewrite those to use off-chain batching. And number 3 is defer. If a feature relies on a third-party oracle that just isn't on Solana yet, we put it on pause. Every single decision here maps directly back to the analysis we already did.
And that brings us to the golden rule of feature scoping. Scope tightly and tie decisions to evidence. Please, don't base your migration on a gut feeling. Use that documented performance analysis to justify exactly what stays, what gets rewritten, and what gets deferred.
Moving right along to Section 2, Milestones and Timelines.
All right, so here is our critical path. It starts with design, moves straight into implementation, then integration testing, security review, and finally deployment. But I really want to highlight that first step, the design phase. For this specific migration, that phase covers exactly how we map the EVM account model to Solana and make all those crucial PDA decisions. That foundational work literally dictates the success of every milestone that comes after it.
And here is a core engineering principle for Web3. Design decisions should be reversible to allow incremental deployment and rollback on DevNet. When you're validating unfamiliar Solana behavior, having reversible decisions lets you test things out incrementally without committing to irreversible state changes that could honestly just ruin your day.
Let's shift gears to Section 3, Risk and Chaos Management.
I've seen way too many teams where hoping for the best was basically their primary stress test. But hope is not a strategy, especially not when transitioning architectures from Ethereum to Solana. So we use a proper risk register. This tracks the risk itself, its severity, the mitigation plan, and critically, the owner. For example, here, Bob owns the high-severity risk of unclear composite state ownership. Look, mapping a severity to a specific human prevents that classic trap where somebody's job magically becomes nobody's job. Bob knows this one is on him.
To put it simply, a risk register is a living document mapping technical and process risks to severity, mitigation steps, and named owners. It's not just paperwork. It is your ultimate insurance policy against migration disasters. If a risk actually triggers, you don't panic. You just open the register, look at the mitigation step, and ping the owner.
Which brings us to Section 4, Tasks and Measurable Success.
Because honestly, the most beautiful blueprint in the world is completely useless if the crew doesn't know how to measure a straight line, right? We have to define what success actually looks like. Please, banish vague phrases like mostly tested or seems fast from your vocabulary. Those are just terrible. Good, measurable acceptance criteria look like this. Unit tests cover X% of logic. Local net benchmark completes in Y milliseconds, or review sign-off recorded in PR. These concrete metrics are objective, undeniable, and they will easily pass peer and instructor review.
And to enforce this, we use an explicit accountability matrix. Every single acceptance criterion has a dedicated verification method and an assigned role.
So, the feature lead verifies the scope, the project manager ensures milestones are hit, and the QA lead signs off on the success metrics. It's about total clarity and total accountability across the board.
And finally, Section 5, finalizing the blueprint.
We are almost ready to break ground here. It's time for the final inspection, packaging this brilliant risk-managed strategy into actual reviewable deliverables. So, alongside your human-readable Markdown file, you're required to create a machine-readable JSON stub template, something like project is capstone contract, followed by your arrays for scope, milestones, and risks. Why do we do this? Because it acts as a living artifact that your continuous integration systems can automatically validate and ensures your documentation literally never drifts out of sync with your automated checks.
So here is your exact checklist for this final checkpoint. Step 1, commit both the migrationplan.md and the JSON file. Step 2, open a pull request, and crucially, link your previous hotspot and migration notes right in that PR. Step 3, pass the CI JSON key validation script. Look, traceability is absolutely key here. A reviewer should be able to follow the breadcrumbs from your design decisions all the way back to those initial EVM performance audits.
So, I'm going to leave you with this question to think about. Is your blueprint ready for design mapping? Because that is exactly where we're heading in our next lesson. We're going to take this very plan and translate it into Solana-specific architecture diagrams and Anchor program skeletons. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. Be sure to head over to forge.college to learn more about this subject, dive deeper into Web3, and check out the rest of our amazing content. Happy building, and I will see you in the next one.